For fast, cheap, and reliable Madden 20 Ultimate Team coins, make sure you guys go check out my sponsor U4GM Coins. Use code VENM at checkout for 5% off. Yo, what's up, everybody? It's Fire here, back with another video, and today I'm going to be showing you guys what I think is one of the best and most underrated defenses in the game. As you guys have seen from the thumbnail, the defense we're going to be running today is going to be this Cover 3 Cloud. Now, this defense is going to be very good stock, but I'm also going to show you guys some adjustments that can take it really over the top and show you how to defend specific formations a little bit better. So I'm just going to go ahead, come out in the play. As you guys see, we're in this nickel 2-4-5. I'm going to be in the Green Bay Packers playbook. I've been loving this 2-4-5 recently. I feel like the sheds are good, and it's just a really good defense for coverage. And yeah, the sheds are also good, so if you want to get a good D lineman, you can. Now, I like to run it flipped. So I'm going to have my cover 2 on the left, but typically you always want to have your cover 2 on the short side. So what I mean by that is what I could go ahead and do is if I respot the ball just to the left hash, pretend your opponent's here on the left side of the field. The way I always want my defense is going to be with my cover 2 to the short side, which will be the left in this case. So that's just the way that I like to run it. With that being said, this play, like I mentioned earlier, this play is really good stock. So the only adjustments that you really have to do, you don't even have to do adjustments, but one thing you don't want is that hard flat. So all you really need to do is just pinch your defense. That's something that I do, and then I shade over the top. Now, shading over the top is going to prevent you from getting burnt, and it's also going to turn that hard flat into a cloud flat. Now, this defense is going to be very difficult for them to burn, and especially against gun bunch. The reason that we put the cover 2 over there is so that we can't get one play touchdown on. I'm sure you guys know the deep corner play where this player, he's on a post, this player, Galladay's on a comeback, and they max protect, chop block, roll out, and they try to hit you. It burns cover 3, but in our case, it's not going to burn this defense. So again, this is a very good play stock. I'm just going to use one of these linebackers. The last thing that you could do is I like to just slant outside. I feel like the sheds are just a little bit better, especially if you do have a D-line ability. But you guys see pretty much everything is bagged. Now, that was a pretty bad route combo, but for starters, just especially if you're playing like a bot or someone who's not very good, this cover 3 cloud is going to throw them off. And if you wanted to throw them off even more, you could just continue to flip the play. Now, you want to give them the same look, so you could go ahead and run something like this, where you're going to put B in a soft squat, you're going to man him up. But that's something I'll talk about a little bit later in the video. So I just want to keep it stock to begin with, show you guys just a couple of things you could do. But again here, all you're going to do is just pinch your defense. That's what I like to do against bunch. Against tight sets, it might not be the best. But instead of shading over the top, you could also go ahead and put this player in a soft squat, because I really like the soft squat zones. I feel like they're aggressive. The only problem is that sometimes they follow the post and the crossing routes. So if you recognize your opponent doing that, then I would say stay away from the soft squat. But for the most part, this should be able to bag a pretty bad player. It should be able to bag, whatever. And you guys see right there, my soft squat actually followed the streak. That's the reason that the running back route wasn't covered. So like I said, I would probably stick with the cloud flat unless you notice something else, especially this cover 3 cloud. For whatever reason, it doesn't pass the zone off to my deep zone. So you really just want to pinch your defense, shade over the top, slant outside, and that's just probably the best way to run it. Like I said, I'm going to get you some more complicated setups later in the video, but you guys see everything's bagged. We're able to get that quick pressure. And like I said, this is definitely a defense where I would say you want to get like a D-line ability right here or right here, because they're going to get some glitchy shed animations. But specifically to defend the corner outs, what I like to do is baseline press, because this outside third is going to do a really good job of defending those corner outs. So that's going to take us to our next setup. It's pretty much just going to be base aligning, and then you're going to pinch your defense. Just going to do the exact same thing, shade over the top. This is a little bit better against corner routes, so if your opponent is continuing to run corner routes or whatever the case may be, that's something that you could go ahead and run. I'll show it once again here. Base align, and then you're just going to pinch. You guys see that corner, she's going to come down, and that outside corner on the right should do a really good job. You guys see that the receiver on the left is actually going to get bumped as well, so that's super nice to have also. Now, I always like to use this player. I feel like it's really good to lurk on him just because you're using to the bunch side. You can defend a corner route. You can defend like a backside dig as well, so super nice play. But let's get into some of the more complicated setups. I know you guys don't just want to see me run the stock, so the way that I like to completely turn this into a new play is going to be, first things first, you're going to man up your slot corner on this player. And you guys see that I also pinched. That's just something that I'm going to do. And I'm always slanting outside as well. So I'm going to man my curl flat on him. What I'm going to do is put B, this outside corner, in a soft squat. You could also put him in a cloud flat like I mentioned. And then what you're going to do is put A in a deep half. You're going to put Y in an inside third. And you're going to just put X in an outside third. So you're going to run something like this. You could also put X in a deep half. Because like I mentioned earlier, if you don't do that, they can catch you off guard with that one play touchdown. Usually what I like to do is move this player over, and then pretty much the last thing is just shade over the top. Now, you guys see we have no flat zone on the left, so you could either use this player and defend the flats, or what you could do is put him in a curl flat, and then I like to just put him in a cloud flat, move him over a little, and use this player. Now, you are the only one using him, but you don't really have to worry about that slot receiver because he's manned up. You're really only worrying about maybe X on like a slant or a dig route, maybe B on a crosser and a wide receiver post. But you guys see overall everything is pretty much going to be completely blocked by this. It's a really, really good setup, and this is a setup that probably is my favorite out of the formation. You guys see everything is bagged. If they throw that to X, we're clicking on making a pick. You guys see the flats are clamped. That running back, maybe they could throw it, but overall it's not really going to be open. So again here, we're just going to simply pinch our defense, slant outside. We're going to man up the slot receiver. And this is a lot of adjustments, so you might want to go in practice mode and practice it. But boom. And there we go. So again, you're just putting B in a soft slot, man up your slot receiver, your slot corner on that slot receiver, putting strong safety in a deep half, putting this free safety in an inside third, and putting your outside corner in a deep half as well. Again, make sure that you do shade over the top. You can shade over the top, and then you can just put him back in a soft squat. That's just so you won't get burnt by any of the outside receivers. And this is just going to be a really, really strong defense to defend pretty much everything you guys see. We're going to pass him on. We're going to see the slot receiver bags, and pretty much everything is going to be covered. Now, you probably saw that the vertical was open. And the simple way that you can just stop that is just going to be to base a line and then pinch. Again, you can also do that. So again, I could run the exact same setup out of it. The only difference here is that I'm just not completely aligned, so I might want to move this player over so he gets a better alignment on the receiver. But again, that's not really something that's completely necessary. It's just something that you might want to do if you see not too many people run verticals out of bunch this year. It's not the best, but if you see someone go to that, this is the adjustment you want to do, because the soft squats play the verticals pretty well. But if you see them doing that, maybe you just keep the cover 3 on the right side. Again, boom, lurk A, come back over to Y. They playmaker, we're bagging everything pretty much, and we do end up getting that pressure. Now, if you see your opponent, he's going to try. Maybe he goes and tries to roll out the pocket. All you're going to do is just slant outside and contain. Simply like this. And pretty much the last setup that I like to show is going to be just to where you can actually use the free safety. So what you're going to do is put X in a deep half. And you guys see I'm already pinched. I'm already slanting outside and I'm already containing. But what I like to do is, again, I'm going to put this player in a curl flat. And I'm just going to boom, put cloud flats on my field by shading underneath, shading over the top. That's Y. Right stick down, right stick up. And you guys see, you're just going to put him in a hook curl, user him. You can lurk a lot of things. Like I mentioned, I personally like to use the players to the bunch side, so I could use him, leave the safety here. But the safety, he's going to be a lot better in coverage than maybe the other player would. And you guys see, everything is pretty much bagged. Keep in mind that they're never really going to send a running back on a route. Most people in bunch are actually max protecting just because of the 1-4-6 meta and the send 7 meta. Most players are just blocking 7 every play anyways, so it's not really too much of a concern. So again, this setup I'm just pinching, I'm slanting outside, I'm containing, I'm putting this outside corner in a deep half, I'm putting my left linebacker, the left middle linebacker right here in a curl flat, and then I'm just going to shade underneath, shade over the top. That's going to prevent me from getting burnt, and it's also going to get those clad flats. If I want, I could always put one of those players back in a curl flat. And again, this is just going to confuse them even more, because more times than not, they're probably expecting it to be a cover 2. It is a cover 2 type of look. You guys see we have the 2 high safety look, cover 2 shell, but it's just going to completely confuse them, especially if they go with maybe a cover 3 beater or a cover 2 beater. But you guys see everything is completely bagged, and we're going to end up getting that pressure. But that, like I said, it's going to be pretty key that you have at least one D-line ability, or one player with D-line abilities, so that you do get that pressure. Because if you're sending 4 against 7, it could take a while for you to get pressure if you don't have those abilities. If you wanted to maybe mix it up with the pressure, I would say just blitz the slot corner and then contain, so he's on the contain. Now this, I've seen it give pressure a couple of times. It's definitely not guaranteed, but in this case what I would do is just shade over the top, and then I would user him. But keep in mind, you have to user the flats if you're doing this. If I want to get a little bit risky, maybe I put X in an inside third and I put A in a deep half. Something like this could be really good as well if you want to send 5 people, but maybe move this guy back so that he doesn't get beat over the top. This is a pretty solid coverage. You do have to defend the middle of the field yourself, but as far as coverage, it's going to be pretty good. You guys see we're able to get a lot quicker pressure there, but yeah, it's pretty much the last setup, and that's going to do it for the video. So if you guys enjoyed, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button for more videos like this one, and peace. I'm out of here.